Words. I'm surrounded by thousands of words. Pomegranate. Iridescent. Worry. From the time I was just a few months old, words were gifts. They made my jumbled thoughts and feelings have substance. Every word my parents spoke to me, I remembered. By the time I was 2, all my memories had words and all my words had meaning. But only in my head. Our words hold power, simultaneously being humanity's greatest strength and greatest weakness. They harm and they heal. They bring hope and they cause destruction. They inspire love and they incite hate. Truly, words are one of humanity's greatest powers. But today, I want to give you a glimpse into a life without language. And in doing so, I hope to remind you to rejoice in the privilege of communication and to never be wasteful with your words. Out of My Mind by Sharon Draper. I can't walk, I can't talk, I can't feed myself. My arms and hands are pretty stiff, but here's the thing. I'm ridiculously smart. Nobody gets it. Not even my mother, although she has this mom sense and knows that I understand stuff, but even that has its limits. Doctors. Where do I start? Doctors really don't get me. When I turned 5, my mother took me to a doctor to figure out how smart I was. My name is Dr. Hugely. He grabbed a stack of wood blocks and then leaned in close. Can you stack these in order according to size? Didn't he know I couldn't grab the blocks? Of course I knew which block was bigger than the other, but I couldn't stack them if he paid me money. I knew it was going to be a long, long hour. Mrs. Brooks, it is my opinion that Melody is severely brain damaged and profoundly retarded. But I know she's bright. She has cerebral palsy, Mrs. Brooks. I know the name of her condition, doctor. But a person is so much more than the name of a diagnosis on a chart. Melody will never be able to walk on her own, speak, feed herself, or understand anything except that reality. Let me tell you something, doctor. I think you're wrong. Melody is able to figure out things, communicate, and manage in a world where nothing works for her. She's the one with true intelligence. Despite those fancy degrees from fancy schools you've got posted all over your walls. I'm taking you right now and enrolling you at Spalding Street Elementary School. I have been at Spalding Street Elementary School for 5 years. It's very ordinary, filled with kids just like I see on television shows. Kids who, for the most part, ignore kids like me. They ask one another to play, but no one's ever asked us. Not that we could, anyway, but it would be nice if somebody would say hi. I guess the Foursquare players must think we're all so backward that we don't care if we get treated like we're invisible. special classroom with other children with what they call disabilities. It's hard to keep good teachers for us. Mrs. Billups started every morning by playing the type of music grown-ups think is cute. Old MacDonald had a farm, twinkle, twinkle, little star, all sung by children who could not sing on full volume every single morning. Miss Billups went over the alphabet every single day with third graders. One day, I guess I'd had enough. Now, children, how many of you can say A? Good. Now let's move on to B. Ba. Ba is the sound of the letter B. Let's all say ba together, children. I screamed because I hated stuff that was just plain stupid. I screeched because I couldn't talk and tell her to shut up. And that made me cry because I realized I'd never be able to tell anybody what I was really thinking. And so I screamed and yelled and shrieked. I would not stop. Mrs. Brooks, this is Melody's teacher. Can you come to the school right away? We can't get her to stop screaming. What were you working on before all the screaming started? The sound of the letter B, if I recall. I always start with the basics because they don't retain information like the rest of us. So you were going over the alphabet? It's February. School started in August. You haven't gotten past the letter B in 6 months? Who are you to tell me how to run my class? Look, have you ever said to yourself, if they play that stupid commercial on TV one more time, I'll just scream? That's what happened to Melody. She said, if I have to go over those letters one more time, I'll just scream. So she did. I really don't blame her. Do you? 5th grade started a few weeks ago. Our school began something called inclusion classes. I could barely contain myself. I was going to be in a regular classroom. Well, the whole thing was almost a disaster. All of the normal children turned to stare. Some of them laughed, others looked away. Let's make this a real inclusion experience. Perhaps our friends from room H5 would like to sit with the rest of us instead of being stuck in the back. Elizabeth started talking to Gloria. Maria sat down next to Jessica. All the girls rushed to be Ashley's buddy. The teacher looked around the room, hoping that someone would volunteer to take me. I would have given anything to be back in our old room instead of sitting there with 30 kids all staring at me. Finally, a girl walks over to my chair. I'm Rose. I smiled. I won a trip to the new downtown aquarium. At school, Rose whispers with me about the trip, just like I'd seen other kids do when they have secrets. When we get there, the place is crowded. Fish go from floor to ceiling. We stop in front of every tank. Rose seems to be having a great time. Then, hey Rose, you here with your mom? No. Your dad? I'm here with Melody and her family. On purpose? Oh, it's not so bad. After a few more tanks, we leave the aquarium. Rose thanks us and says she had a real good time. But did she? I sit and do web searches on communication devices. Finally, I find something called a meta-talker. It has millions of words and phrases built into it. I realize I've been waiting for this thing all my life. Mom and Dad come in to pick us up. Dad is ready with his camcorder. Show us how it works, honey. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I love you. Real words.